Now I know there's a lot of companies out there that make some really high-end, precision, fancy, super duper chisels and plane blades out there, but I, like so many other people, just have a cheap $10 set of chisels. These 4 chisels were purchased a few years ago off Amazon for about 10 bucks. Recently in one of my vlog videos I mentioned that I was going to show how I sharpen my chisels and how I have been sharpening them for quite a while now with decent results. And someone's response was to check out Paul Sellers and see how he sharpens his. I checked out the video and lo and behold, it's pretty much the same process. I just freehand it with these 3 stones and I get some really good results. I guess technically speaking, these aren't stones, they are plates, and these are just cheap Harbor Freight diamond plates. This blue one is coarse, yellow one is medium, and the red is the fine. Now the finest one here, this red one, I believe only is equivalent to about 320 grit sandpaper. So this isn't crazy insanely sharp, but it is sharp enough for everything that I do here in the shop. So this is the widest chisel that I have, and as you can see, I don't have a micro bevel on it, and the reason being is I'm freehanding this, so I don't want to get too crazy technical with it. As long as I have a nice consistently sharp edge, it's really all that matters. The oil that I have on here is just regular mineral oil, and to establish the angle that I need, you can kind of just hold it in place and figure out where the angle is by this face right here referencing flat against the plate. What I like to do is to just look at the shadow instead, and once the shadow just disappears, that's the angle that I need. Kind of lock my arms into place and go from there. I'll do about a dozen strokes on each plate, going from coarse to fine and sliding in between. And at that point, the edge is really sharp, but it's got a burr on the flat side of the chisel. So to remove that burr, just 1 or 2 passes back and forth on the flat side, and that will either pull the burr off or it'll push it to the top side, which normally it just pushes it to the top side. So to remove it from there, I just drag it along a piece of wood 1 time in either direction and the burr is completely gone. So very quickly, I've got a nice clean sharp edge that I can work with here in the shop. Now this will do everything that I ask it to do here in the shop. There's no need for me and what I do to purchase anything more expensive than this cheap set, and there's no need for me to purchase any type of rolling guide system that you typically see with chisels, or take the time to set it up every single time that I need to use it. This took all of 20 or 30 seconds and it works. Now I completely understand that this method isn't for everybody. If you do have a nice expensive set of chisels, don't ruin them on a cheap setup like this. Then at that point, if you do have a substantial investment in that particular tool, then it would make sense to go out and buy something to keep that investment intact. I like to test how sharp the chisel is by paring away at the end grain of a piece of wood. And if I can get some nice clean shavings, then in my opinion, that's sharp enough. Earlier today I was messing around here in the shop and it dawned on me that maybe I can create some type of jig that is completely free due to the use of scraps and requires 0 setup time. You just set it in place and go to town on it. And what I came up with is this, and I'm somewhat impressed by it. This is nothing more than 3 pieces of scrap wood, 2 pieces of plywood, and 1 piece of dimensional lumber. Now the centerpiece of this dimensional lumber has an angle cut in here that is about 25 to 30 degrees. I didn't measure it exactly, I just kind of lined up the chisel and said that's good enough. And all 3 of these bottom faces are on the same plane, and what that allows is this whole sled to run freehand over my plates, referencing on the hold down blocks that I have in place. Now my thinking behind this is I can put my chisel on the inclined plane, reference up against one side, and slide it down until it makes contact with the stone. And from there I could just use 1 finger to push down, 1 finger to push over into the side, and make some passes over the stone. I only took a couple passes to figure out what this thing was actually going to do, and because the angle is slightly different from here than what I have been cutting on this, I seem to be getting a slight micro bevel. So I'm actually going to pursue this for a couple more minutes and see what I come up with. So after just a couple minutes, I've created a micro bevel basically. Now, if I continue to use this, then eventually this micro bevel will just continue to creep up because it's no longer being adjusted, and this particular plane will be continued all the way up to this top edge of the chisel. So this little free scrap wood experiment did everything that I wanted it to do, but will I continue to use it? Probably not. This is just something else for me to keep up with, and I'm probably going to lose it. And the freehand method seems to be doing the job just fine for me. It's a quick 15 or 20 pass, boom, 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 and then you get on with what you're trying to do. So while this is definitely a viable option, I don't see myself using it. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, go ahead and share it so others can do so as well. If this is your first time here, I'd love to have you subscribe. I post a new woodworking video pretty much once a week, and whenever possible, I have free downloadable plans available on my website. You can follow me on all the social media networks, but I'm most active on Facebook. So if you're a Facebook user, stop by, give the page a thumbs up, and you'll never miss any new content that I put out. Thanks for watching, folks, and have a great day.